Howdy folks, Tetsu here, down in lower tiers where the power is low, but the battles are fierce. And today I'll be continuing my self-proclaimed quest to archive all the battles during the first 7U tournament, which thereby I hope to bring light to the tier and possibly help it grow. So join me as we head down to the LB and observe those who have gained an elimination in the first 2 rounds. Our combatants this time will be BT89 versus SacredPie, with BT89 having lost to Txitxas in the first round, along with SacredPie losing to Nultiprise. With an elimination each, they now battle it out to see who gets the boot. Either way, their skill should be witnessed here today by both myself and you, the viewer. If you happen to enjoy the video, I humbly request you click that like button. Also subscribe and click that bell if you want to be notified for later uploads. Working together, we can bring more attention to this fascinating metagame. With all that said, let's begin. Alright, match 4, game 1. Let's play. Lead metagame, Charmeleon coming from BT89 and Ivysaur from SacredPie. Quick switch to Tentacool. And a fire spin goes off, with Voltorb being switched in by BT89 and Ivysaur switched in as Voltorb substitutes. Thunderwave going down. Ivysaur, it's probably not in the worst position because, it can sleep block now. BT switches in their Ivysaur to Sword Stand, but it gets put to sleep. Quick switch to Charmeleon and a switch to Tentacool by SacredPie, which makes BT have to switch out into their Ivysaur. It tanks a Surf. Voltorb is going to be switching into a Blizzard. I'm not entirely sure how that ended up, but Explosion goes off on the paralyzed Ivysaur by SacredPie. Meowth from BT finishes it off. Voltorb from SacredPie coming in, and Rhyhorn switched in return. Voltorb did go for a substitute, but quick switch to Golbat as Rhyhorn goes into a substitute. And Rock Slide does come down as Mega Drain actually breaks the substitute. And Ivysaur, the sleeping Ivysaur from BT, is brought out and put under confusion as well. No, it's not actually going to be sacked. Instead, Tentacool comes out, but it gets crit by Blizzard. No freeze, though. And the rap battle begins, but SacredPie's like, no, I'm not about that. I'm gonna switch in my Voltorb. Rhyhorn, however, unfortunately does not face a ball, faces a wall of water. Ivysaur from BT gets sent out, and finally, Ivysaur gets sacked. Meowth coming in from BT as Voltorb is switched by SacredPie. And yeah, Rhyhorn's immediately going to have to come out. An explosion, crit explosion, brings Rhyhorn to 36%. Well within Tentacool's range. It'd take it out regardless. But BT has to switch in their Tentacool to try to stave off that onslaught as SacredPie. And they BT ended up doing a retaliatory Hydro Pump, which did a bit of damage. Not too much, though. Rhyhorn's being switched in to Wrap. That is a risky venture. Mainly for the fact that if Tentacool misses, then Rhyhorn is not in the best spot. That's for sure. But for right now, it seems BT's just committing to this, trying to PP stall or force a miss. And they do on their Tentacool as okay. So they switched their Rhyhorn in, I guess expecting another wrap. Meowth gets switched in, gets Hydro Pumped, and winds up taking out SacredPie's Tentacool as Charmeleon is hit and finishes off both Meowth and BT's Tentacool. Are we going to see a counter? No, it's going to be a slash. Body slam, breaks the speed tie and paralysis. And counter does go down, but there's no coming back from this. BT89 loses game 1. Alright, on to game 2. Let's play lead metagame. Meowth coming from BT this time with Tentacool by SacredPie. Blizzard going into the substitute that Meowth put down. Quick switch to BT89's Tentacool. Takes a Surf and begins the rap battle, but SacredPie is like, no, I'm gonna PP stall you for a little bit. Switch in Ivysaur. And Body Slam coming from BT89 as their Ivysaur gets put to sleep right afterwards. Swords Dance off SacredPie's Ivysaur as Charmeleon from BT fire spins. as SacredPie decides to send in their Tentacool to tank some of that damage. Golbat was sent in, but Rhyhorn was also sent in by SacredPie. Mega Drain does come down, and so does Rock Slide, so both Mons are below half health, as SacredPie sends in their Shelter, of all things. Shelter gets put under confusion by Confuse Ray, and Golbat takes a lot of damage and takes out Shelter with a crit Mega Drain. SacredPie sends out their Meowth, and Golbat barely survives, goes after a Hyper Beam, dealing a ton of damage to Meowth. SacredPie is able to win the speed tie against BT's, but BT does win the day on that one. BT's like, I'm going to switch in my Meowth. I'm going to sacrifice my Meowth, dealing tons of damage. Tentacool was brought in, and Ivysaur was switching to tank that Surf, and then is taken out by Blizzard. SacredPie sends in their Tentacool to try afterwards, so hopefully it wouldn't get molested. And Ivysaur is sent out by BT, and is going to be sacked. Charmeleon coming in, does a slash. Charmeleon gets taken out. Hydro Pump, not quite enough, as SacredPie begins wrapping. What is their last one? Rhyhorn, and Rhyhorn forces the miss. And a crit Surf brings BT89's Tentacool to 29 health. Easy target for Charmeleon. Fire Blast coming in, no burn, however, and Fire Spin begins to whittle it down. And BT, once again, is trying to force a miss, although this seems a tad risky. That said, with the right amount of luck, if BT89 can force a miss, a Fire Spin, there it is, and Fire Spin misses again, Earthquake, Charmeleon goes down! SacredPie's Tentacool at 13%. Rhyhorn is sacked. BT89 just needs to win the speed tie, and they do. BT89 wins game 2. Alright. Good job. Good job by both players. Game 3. Let's play lead meta game. Charmeleon coming from BT89. Tentacool once again coming from SacredPie. Voltorb switched in, tanks a Surf, and Voltorb goes for the substitute as Tentacool is not having it and Surfs and breaks it. Breaks the substitute with Surf as Rhyhorn's going to be switching to a Thunderbolt. BT89 brings in their Tentacool, and Rhyhorn substituted but was able to make use of it by taking out BT's Tentacool with Earthquake. Both players now have Ivysaur out, and SacredPie was able to get the sleep again on the Ivysaur. Voltorb got switched in and took a body slam. Well, I say took it, more like got flattened. And BT89 brings in their Charmeleon, does a Fire Spin, and SacredPie begins the switch game. Meowth coming in, though, does a slash. Tentacool goes for the Blizzard, no freeze, but deals a ton of damage to Meowth. Hitmonchan brought in for a body slam. Agility, Hitmonchan now. Ivysaur submission. I suppose body slam probably wouldn't have been a finish for that, so submission's fine. But several consecutive body slams are going to be taking out the slumbering Grass Frog. Submission goes into Charmeleon. Is there going to be a fly? No, it's going to be a counter. I was going to say Fire Blast. Flub that. Meowth from SacredPie goes for a substitute, and BT allows it by using counter. Fast trigger Fire Blast misses. Meowth keeps its substitute as it goes and finishes off Charmeleon. Rhyhorn is brought in, Bubble Beam, and this is it for BT. Meowth can take out Rhyhorn, and BT forfeits the game. Well done. Well done. SacredPie will be moving on. So, what did we learn? When in doubt, H-Beam. At this point during Game 2, where it looks to be the end for BT-89, they play for time and work towards their opponent making a mistake, or getting unlucky. There's certainly times when one's best option is to play to your outs. With the match over, BT-89 is officially kicked out from this first 7U tournament, while SacredPie will continue on in the LB. How long will they last? Only time will tell. And if you happen to have found the video interesting, why not join in on the fun? I've got all the necessary links down in the description, from the Discord to the resource hub. I hope to see you there. And until next time, everybody, take care.